Hi. Sometimes it's fun to take advantage of all the many control voltage sources in a modular synth and run them all over the place, controlling all kinds of things. But as an experiment, what if we take just one control voltage source and patch it to as many parameters as we possibly can, using it to gradually add speed and intensity, slowly adding more speed and intensity, building and building, a little faster and a little faster, a little more speed, a little more intensity, a little bit more over the top all the time, more and more wild, until it seems we couldn't possibly get any more intense. Okay, so what I'm thinking is the ideal choice for a CV like this is going to be a function from a maths channel. It should have a very slow rise and an exponential curve so that it speeds up as it goes along. Got my maths here set up like this. I've backed it off just a little bit from full exponential because I do want a good sense of rise the whole way along. Also, I'm going to patch an offset from channel 3 to the rise input to make it even a little longer than it'll normally go. Because on maths, the exponential shapes go faster in general. Now the first thing I think I'll control is clock rate. We're cycling the other channel of maths here, and I'll patch the variable output to its both input. And let's take that end of rise gate to strike both channels of the Optimix. I'm using this stacking cable because I'm going to use all the channels of the CV bus for the rising function to mult it to so many parameters. Okay, so I also want the rising function that I'm copying here to be a little less than full amplitude because a 10 octave shift on the DPO might be a little too much for it to even be audible. So I'm going to patch it through channel 2 and attenuate it just a little bit. And let's start by multing it. And I'm going to mult it such that it shows up in all 4 channels of the CV bus, just patching it along so that all 4 colors are representing this same signal. Let's use it to control the pitch of both these oscillators. And I'm using the expo input on VCO-A instead of the volt per octave so that the 2 oscillators don't track at exactly the same rate. Let's also control their amplitude on the Optimix so that they swell as it goes along. May as well add some timbral changes as well. Gonna go ahead and use this function to turn up the FM bus index and also the mod bus index. We can hear sidebands sounding like they're going up and down, even though the overall trend is up due to FM and audio rate modulation of the final output here. I'm going to go ahead and also patch these 2 sine waves to the modular and ring modulate them. And we'll go ahead and use this function to channel 2 of the modular to set how loud that ring modulation is going to be. and patch it to the aux input of the Optimix so we can mix it in with the other two things that are already happening here. Lots of sidebands there. Let's bring in the effects. We'll start with the mix controls on the Echophone and the Verb. I've run out of short cables here. And I think we could also stand to turn up feedback and the depth of the pitch shifter. On the Echophone, and the tilt on the Verb so it gets brighter as it goes along. This patch will be different on any collection of modules, of course. But also even in the same system, depending on how you set and attenuate your CV destinations. Any control voltage shape will have its own set of nuances. I like to think of a function almost like a container that defines the shape of whatever it's holding. Random voltage from the woggle bug gives us a totally different shape. Smooth voltage. Or we could try using a different shape of this same maths function. And of course, we've barely even touched the bottom row of the system. I think this kind of patch is particularly useful for sound effects or things like that, things that might be kind of a supplemental voice in a recording, but it's also fun to just play with. So I hope you'll have fun with it as well.